You know, it's really, really hard not to root for Octavia Spencer in this movie. Hey everybody, what's going on? Welcome to an all-new Talkin' Movies. As always, I'm your host, The Real Gino Reynolds, and today we're going to be talking about Octavia Spencer's new thriller, Ma. If you've seen the trailer, you kind of know where this movie's going, but what this movie is about, it's about some teenagers that are asking people to buy them booze, and they ask, I guess she's a veterinary assistant, to get them booze. This lady's played by Octavia Spencer, and at first you don't want to help them, but then she sees something and decides, yeah, I'm gonna help them. This leads to them partying in her basement, and if you've seen the trailer again, you see that she warns them not to go upstairs, and then things just start to get weird with Ma. Now, I had a hunch about this movie, and I will warn you, there'll probably be some minor spoilers in this one. I'm not going to spoil everything, but I do have to talk about some things. I had a hunch about this movie that, because in the trailer, you see that Ma knows some of the kids' parents, and I had a hunch that Ma was getting revenge on the parents for something by going after the kids. And while I wasn't I said it was bullying. While I won't say it was a ton worse than that, it was a little worse than that. Without spoiling it, I can't really explain what I mean by that. It wasn't just like they were bullying her, pushing her around, calling her names, things like that. Something happens, and Ma never gets over it, which, in a way, I don't blame her. As I said before the intro kicked in, it's hard not to root for the character of Ma in this, even though some of the things she ends up doing, probably not the nicest stuff. That being said, what happened to her, as someone that got bullied in high school, which granted, what happened to her did not happen to me, but in some ways, or at least in this one way, she got it way worse than I ever did, and I wanted to take things out on people. I never did. I just got out of there and moved on. But I get it. I kind of got it. That being said, they don't want you to really root for her in the end. And in the end, you kind of... Let's put it this way. And again, I'm going to talk minor spoilers here. Those that really deserve to get it in the end, get it in the end. So you're good there. And she gets her revenge on those people. Those that didn't deserve it don't get it in the end, and that's good. It seems, and what she's doing almost seems justified, because I won't say the quote unquote innocents, but those that really didn't deserve horrible bad things that happen to them. I mean, bad things happen to some of them, don't get me wrong, but those that didn't really deserve this horror, they didn't get it as bad as those that did. That's about the best way I can put it. I will say I loved Octavia Spencer in this. Here's the thing, though. She's done drama before, and she's definitely done comedy before. And while when she needed to be really menacing, she was. That being said, a lot of this movie's tone plays against her. And this isn't a bad thing, because don't get me wrong, I had a great time with this movie. I enjoyed watching this movie. I'm not going to call it the most fantastic movie ever, but I had a good time. It was a fun journey to go through. But some of the stuff she does, I think it was supposed to come off more menacing than it did. And this was more near the beginning and middle parts of the movie. She just a lot of the movie is funny, even though some bad things are happening. Even when bad things happen to certain people, I mean, you can't help but laugh. One of them you see in the trailers. But she's great in this either way. She's very entertaining. Octavia Spencer, I would have loved to have seen her do something really like menacing, like the whole movie be menacing. Because here's the thing, this movie, I'm glad it did this, because if they were trying to hide it, it wouldn't have worked, because we've seen the trailer. But they don't hide her obsession for very long. She, like I said, she sees these kids, she notices something, and then all of a sudden she starts looking into them and who their parents are and things like that. And that stuff really works because they're not hiding it from you. If they tried to pretend like she wasn't doing anything with this movie, I don't think it would have worked as well, because we know something's going to happen. Again, what happens to her, I won't spoil, but it's pretty bad. And again, you kind of, in a way, and in some ways, you kind of want her to win. But again, just with this movie, it plays a weird balance, because in the end, you don't want her to win, because those that deserve to get it. Everyone else in this movie's all right. The teenage actors are fine. They do have some character development, but not much. The movie is more about the character of Ma, even though there's minor details here and there that come out because it plays into the story of Ma, because again, Ma grew up with some of these kids' parents. Other actors in this, like Juliette Lewis, is fine. Luke Evans is fine. I liked what they did with him, because he's the type of actor that can turn off the he can go from charming to menacing like in a snap of a finger, and he kind of does it in this movie. Allison Janney, she's a character. She plays Ma's boss, and you just know something's bad is going to happen to her with the way she treats Ma. There's just the movie is fairly predictable. I will say this though, I thought the movie was with what happens to Ma, when I say it's going to be worse, I thought that it was going to lead into something else that it's introduced into the movie, and I was kind of glad it didn't, because I didn't want what happened to her to be that bad, because then you really couldn't root against her. But still, what happened to her is bad, but I thought this plot point that I can't talk about was going to lead into, from her past, and it didn't. Even though this plot point helps you to root against Octavia Spencer's character, and then because of what she's doing with this plot point. But yeah, this is a pretty entertaining movie. I wish it would have been more scary all the way through, because me and my friend Kui, when we went and seen it, we were laughing through a lot of it, and it was just a good time. That, like I said, though, it's a good time, though. Don't go in expecting this to be a wall-to-wall, from beginning to end horror thriller. It just builds up, and again, you're following the character of Ma here and there, so you kind of know what's going on, and also they're revealing her past throughout the movie. And while you do root for her for a while, after those that deserve to get it, then you can't root for her anymore. Except for, couple of the teenagers were kind of annoying. But still, they're not like bad people. So anyway, that's Ma. It's an entertaining movie. I recommend it for a one-time watch. Do you need to rush to the theater to see it? I wouldn't say you need to rush to the theater to see it, but in a group of people, it's probably going to be more fun than if you were watching it with not very many people or a small group. We had a few people in the theater, and we were all seemed to be having a really good time watching it. And so if you're going to see it in a theater, see it with a lot of people. Hopefully more people will be there when you are. Other than that, it might be an alright rental. Octavia Spencer's really good in it, and I love Octavia Spencer, so I had a good time with the movie. I recommend it, but again, you don't have to rush to the theater to go see it. That's going to be all for this edition of Talkin' Movies. If you like what you've heard here, please subscribe to the Real Gino YouTube channel, like this video, and you have anything to say about this movie, please feel free to leave a comment in the section below. Until next time, I'm your host, the Real Gino, Gino Reynolds. Don't make me drink alone. Don't make me drink alone.